All right. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Unconventional Mindset. My name is Odum, and right here on YouTube, we get together every single day and we live stream our process of building ourselves a company which we hope is going to generate us $1 million in revenue every single year. Actually, we don't hope. We know we're going to get there. We're going to keep plugging away. We're going to work hard. And so one thing I always like to say, or like to think about anyways, is maybe you have more talent than me, but I'm going to do my best to make sure that I can outwork most of the people out there. So what we're going to do today is we're going to finish off a little bit of the stuff that we were doing yesterday, but focus specifically on the key metrics that we want to make sure that we're tracking on a week-to-week basis that we're going to use to validate the work that we're doing, for marketing on the day-to-day to make sure that we're helping us move towards our goal. Of course, that ultimate goal is to make $1 million or to generate $1 million in revenue every single year, right? So we're going to just jump right in and we're going to get back into Figma, where I spent some time just kind of cleaning things up in terms of what we were doing yesterday. And there's kind of three different things of metrics to kind of calculate. Number one, it's pixel pieces and how many people are using and engaging with the website, and of course the revenue that's generated through that. And then there's also Pixel itself as the agency and how many customers we're getting and how much money we're getting through those customers, both as one-time payments and recurring revenue payments. And then there's just kind of a more wider analytics where how many people are actually just kind of on the website and how many leads we're getting through in order to, for example, people that come in and book a call with us. And then we can maybe do something a little bit about the newsletter as well. So I'm just trying to figure out how to piece that together in a one or two, maybe even three different screens on our weekly report of what makes the most sense and kind of how to block things, or kind of put things in blocks. So we have here for key metrics for Pixel Pieces users. So I feel like this page kind of makes sense, where we look at the total number of free members that we have, the new free members that we got this week. See, I almost wonder if that should be on a separate page. I don't know. So total free members, new members this week, total paid members, and then the new ones that we got this week. So we can just see like, hey, we got 5 new members this week, and our total is now 35 or whatever. So then we can see the active members, the percent that are active this week, and how many components that they copied, and a total number of how many components were copied. I guess we could even just do, I don't know if we just did this year or all time. That's where it gets a little bit wishy-washy in terms of how we should track this. But anyways, I think this page makes pretty good sense. This active members and stuff, maybe that should go somewhere else. I'm not sure, but yeah, I don't know exactly how that should be displayed. Then if you're just looking for revenue, of course, it's pretty simple with Pixel Pieces. There's one form of revenue. There's the membership, right? And I shouldn't say right because maybe you don't know. Let me just bring this up real quick. So we have Pixel Pieces, and if you get access, it's a free plan or it's the all access one-time plan. So that's basically it. So Rolando, how you doing? Welcome. I missed you on Monday, but how was your weekend? Hope you had a good weekend. You've missed some of the transmissions. How are you going to get those metrics? Did you explain in any other transmissions or any other episodes? So we're thinking a little bit about how to get these metrics, if we can get them automatically. And some of the stuff we can because we're generating them. I mean, obviously, we're just getting how many people join and we're getting how many people are active and log in. That's just calculated in the applications that we use. So we have member stack for the membership data. We have Stripe and member stack as well for how many people are actually paying. And then we have, of course, what's it called? We integrated mix panel in order to track the analytics for how many components are being copied. So it's basically a combination of all the apps that we have, and then we're able to get that data. But the data is, some of it is going to be manually collected. Others are going to be, some of them are going to be automatically collected, where it's going to roll up into like an Airtable spreadsheet. And others, we're going to have to just go in separately and just get this data. But it's going to be pretty easy to do. It's going to be one of those things where it's going to be like my Sunday night evening routine, where it's going to take 30 minutes to put together these key analytics. And then Monday, we're going to review each of these analytics like once a week on Mondays. So that's kind of where we left off. So like, I mean, if you look at here, this is just straight out of MemberStack. These are all straight out of MemberStack. Percent active. So that's just something I'm going to have to calculate. So that's just going to be a very simple manual thing, or something that we'll do in the spreadsheet. Total members divided by, active members gives you the percent. Pretty straightforward. Components copied, again, that's from Mixpanel. And then this total copied, that's also from Mixpanel. So pretty straightforward. We're not going to go too deep in the analytics right now. We're going to go to find what are the lowest hanging fruit in terms of what should we measure within the applications and across the business, and how do we gauge our activities and whether they're successful or not based on how it's moving the needle on these metrics. So we have this revenue for pixel pieces. So that's pretty simple. So now I was just working on the analytics for, I'll just put the pixel agency on here. And if we look at our agency, I will throw this up here as well too, because we did switch a little bit of the pricing. So if we go down to our get started here, again, this isn't something that we're really marketing or really something that we want to do, but we're going to see how things go. So we have the starter plan. I changed the pricing here. So it's $3,000 if you want a standard, very simple like website. We'll get it built, and we'll get it built for you pretty quickly. I don't even say anything here about how quick. Actually, we should probably put this, in as little as 5 days. Probably put that somewhere in there. Anyway, so that's a one-time payment. And then, of course, we have these add-on packages as well, too. So if you want us to maintain the website, and update all the content, what have you, it's $250 extra per month. And then if you want design and maintenance as well as search engine optimization, then that's $1,000 a month add-on. And then, of course, if you're a larger business, then we have $5,000 US per month for that recurring thing, where we basically take care of everything on your website. We're the designers, the developers, and the SEO guys, all rolled up into one. So we have to figure out a way kind of to track that information. So we have here, I guess we can track recurring customers. So these are the customers that we have right now within Pixel that have some type of recurring fee, right? And then right below it, then we'll have the recurring monthly revenue. So this is how much that we're recurring every month based on, these customers, right? So this one right here, we can delete this one. We can delete this one. We could delete this one as well too. Sorry, some of the stuff was copied from other pages. All right, so we have recurring customers, and this is how much money they're bringing in. But then we also have like the one-time clients as well too, right? So how many of those have we had, I guess you could say this year? Again, this is where it's a little bit difficult about separating it from your weekly analytics versus your like yearly analytics, and then all time. So we really want to gauge this on a week-to-week basis. So, what's going to be the best way to do this? I think we could do something where we can talk about I think we can say New one-time clients this week. So these are the new clients that we picked up this week. And then I think for this one, that'll be good to showcase like the percent difference, right? From 1 week to the next. So we just have this here because we don't have anything yet, but this is going to be, if it's a plus, plus 5%. So we can see what our week-to-week trends are going to be, and whether we're on the rise or not. And we can take this guy. I want to copy it and put it in here. So one-time client revenue this week. And then we might want to do and I guess actually we're probably going to want to know, like if we have a plus here, if it's plus one customer, then we're going to know like, that's a 5% growth. I don't even know if we want to look at it percentage wise, because it's maybe just kind of the amount of customers. But yeah, we have recurring customers, new one-time clients, and then maybe we can think about having like total one-time clients. So we can just have a number of how many clients we've served to date. And then we could say this year maybe, because that could be something where we could look at how we could upsell some of those clients. We go back to, say hypothetically, we've done 30 clients, we've done 30 websites, and we can go back to those ones and say, part of our marketing strategy for 1 week would be re-engage our previous clients, find out where they're doing, and see if there's anything that we can offer them in order to help them out, right? Maybe they can think of optimizing this stuff from the websites, or maybe they want to think about how they can generate more leads or get more eyeballs onto the website, whatever, right? So having a look at that kind of number, I think is not going to be a bad thing. So if we think of down here, we have monthly recurring revenue, and then here we have one-time client revenue this week. So of course, if it's 2 clients, then it's going to be $6,000. Maybe that'll change too, depending, because there might be some stuff that I might do that's different than just the $3,000 package. I think we want to copy that into here. And then we can say total agency revenue this year. Total recurring customers. There could be some way to look at churn as well in terms of how many customers are no longer retained. But I think we can analyze that later. So I think I like that. I think that's pretty good, right? So we're going to take these 3, we're going to make them a little bit bigger, and the space between, let's go 16 times 5. Uh, 16 times 4, maybe even a little bit less. Okay. 500. Let's do the same for these guys. And I actually want to get this in one line here. That's just my design. 525. There we go. Mm-hmm. 525. Fix these to the top. This one here needs to be fixed to the top. What's going on here? Why is this one? There we go. That's better. Okay. And then we can have kind of a final one here. Sorry, I know I need to organize this one. Let's say total, well, I could just say total company revenue. Total company revenue. This week. And then, like, I don't know, this year. Right, so whatever, just putting in placeholders here. And so far, you know, this year, something like that. Something like that. Kevin, what's up? What's going on, man? How you doing today? Good to see you. Not much is going on. Just finishing up on what we were working on yesterday and thinking about what these metrics are that we should track. I'm thinking about, you know, just thinking about what makes sense to track. So yeah, I don't know if I'm confusing myself and making things too many pages, but it seems like it'll make sense. So what I have so far is we have our users for Pixel Pieces. So we talk about how many free and paid members, and then what their activity is like, this week. And then we go into the revenue that we've generated from that activity for those users. And then we flow into the agency, which is our other form of income. Oh, let me get rid of that quote. The agency is our other form of income, where we have total recurring customers. And then these are the customers that are either on the starter plan or they have some kind of maintenance package or what have you. So those are the recurring customers, and then how much we're making monthly on those customers. And then there's new one-time clients, and then how much revenue we generate through those one-time clients. And then this is just a good number to have, is just how many one-time clients we've had this year, because again, we could think about how we could do different marketings throughout the year for retargeting them, if there's any upsells or whatever that we can make for them, to see how their business is going and seeing if there's anything else that they would want us to do in order to help them, do better at business, on the website. And then just total agency revenue this year, which would be, summing up all the monthly revenue plus the one-time client revenue. And that's just kind of how much we've made so far this year. And yeah, so, and then from that, then we flow into this table, which is just how much money the company has made, on a week to week basis. And of course, total running this year, because of course we want to get that number to $1 million. So we have that, but there's one key thing I think that we need to do before. Well, I mean, it's not key, but thinking about just these, I don't want to say vanity metrics, but just other metrics for how we're engaging socially. I mean, social metrics. I don't know if that's the right word, but so, and I'm not sure how that's going to flow and how that should flow. But let's just call this social metrics and analytics. Yeah. I'm not sure that's even a good title, but so, right. So this one, let's just put down some things here that we can think about engaging in. So we can talk about YouTube subscribers, and we're at 498 right now, actually. Woohoo! Two more to 500. And then we can think about YouTube. These are all going to be, well, I guess they're not really going to be weekly stats, but YouTube watch time. Just whatever, 125.5, hours, whatever. And then we could talk about newsletter subscribers. And I think for these ones, when we do have numbers, I don't know how many we have on the newsletter, right? But whatever. 80. I think for these ones, when we showcase like the difference, I think we'll go like this, plus, where's the plus? Plus and 12. So it'll be like an increase of 12 from the previous week. Same thing with like YouTube subscribers. So, but that doesn't show the percent change from like the week before. So that's where it's a little bit strange, where we want to make sure our numbers are consistent. So I just need to think a little bit about that, right? Because yeah, these metrics here for like new customers this week, right? That's just a total this week. So every Sunday night or whatever, the time period is going to be, it's going to reset. And then it's like, how many did we get? So yeah, so how can we, I think what we could do is we can just have something like this. And this might actually, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about this might be a better way to display these metrics. Yeah. This is good. Okay, hang on. And then we can put these like total paid members and new paid this week. We could put this into one card here. Yeah, this is okay. Why didn't I think about this before? Okay. So we go, what do we do? We need to go Shift A, put this in a frame. And we are going to, I would like to use arrows here because that would look really, really nice, but let's just, for now, oops, what did I just do? So copy, paste this. We do like an arrow for like up or whatever, 2.5%. This is, what do we call this? Statistic. Or we'll call this change. Okay, so yeah, this makes more sense. So, This one will keep, probably keep that black. And we'll actually keep everything else black except the number. So if it's a positive number, then it's green, right? Yeah. Actually, we'll just put the whole thing green. Yeah, and then we could even use like arrows or whatever to make this look a little bit more appealing. So yeah, that makes more sense. So we have newsletter subscribers. So we can say, maybe we should say like plus 12, and then that's an increase of 2.5% from the previous week. So therefore, in each column, we can see what the actual change is. Yeah, I like that much, much better. And then we could do the same thing for everything, right? So watch time, this was, you know, we got an extra 20.4 hours, and that was a huge, maybe that was a really big increase, right? Whatever the number is. Well, I guess this number's, is it ever going to be negative? Now that let's think about this for a second. I guess it would. So as an example, because watch time could go, yeah, right. Because watch time could go up and down in the sense that one week, say it's 100, and then the next week it's 50. So then this would say minus 50, and then that would be like a decrease of 50%. So this one might not even make sense to have these two numbers, because these two numbers will correlate all the time. But when you're talking about new subscribers, like you're always going to get a number, but what does this percentage mean? Because we want to know if that is up or down from last week. Okay, we need to think about this for a second, actually. How does that make sense? How would this make sense? The thing that's important, yeah, we want to know the week over week change. So we don't want a percentage of what the total subscriber increase is. We want to know what the change is from last week. So what is the number that we're going to want to see here? And what's the number that we're going to want to see here as well? Like, sorry, between the 80 and then the 12. Maybe we do want to only see, why don't you just make a graph? I think that's actually going to be really handy to make, as we want to see the week over week over week, and then we could see the whole flow throughout the year. I think that would be really good, and I'm sure I'm definitely going to do that. But I like having like a quick visual indicator of just what the numbers are. Just like almost like you're looking at a dashboard, so you can kind of see at a glance how things are doing. But that being said, I think having a graph would be good. And this would actually be a good thing to use, bring in my other company, bring in DataShift, where I can actually have those numbers and I could generate those graphs automatically, which would be super awesome. I could like bring in my other company to help out do the graphs for this. Yeah, because the graphs, yeah, you're right. Graphs are going to look really nice to be able to show the trends in, you know, the increases in like subscribers, watch time, all that kind of stuff. I need to think about that. Okay, hang on. Let's think about the other stats that we definitely want to have to track. So we are going to want to look at it's the web stats. That's the big thing. Unique website visitors, and then we'll do pixel.ca is 1. So again, whatever, that's going to be a number. And then unique website visitors pixel pieces.com. So we want to make sure we're tracking that one as well. Because that's going to help us with conversions. And actually, knowing how many unique visitors we got on Pixel Pieces, that's actually going to, we'd want to see this here when we're looking at how many new members signed up. It would be good to know how many unique website visitors we got. So I think we should figure out how to put this in here. So if we go like this, if we go like total free members, and then the total is 30. But again, let's go. If we copy this, let's go here. Yeah, so Rolando, I think that's going to be like a second step. Once this is done, we got to figure out what our graphs are going to look like. So that's a really good point. I don't know why I didn't think of that. That's why I have you guys here to help me out like this. Okay, so say we got 5 new members this week, but last week we got 10. So then we could have something like this where this would be like minus 50%. I mean, that's a big number, but does that make sense? If you look at this card like this, total free members, we have 30, which means we got 5 this week, but that's 50% less than what we got last week. I think that makes sense, but it needs some explanation. And I think what we could do even is we could even make this more clear. Yeah. So yeah, we could do there's lots we could do. Let's try something like this. We can say decrease from last week. Not a minus 50% decrease. I don't think that's mathematically correct, but right, something like that. I think that would clarify things, I think, a little bit more. Yeah, we just have to figure out. I could design this a little bit better as well. Like maybe it's actually like this. maybe this is, no, maybe we can make that a blue color. I'm not sure. Yeah, that actually looks better, and it actually makes more sense, I think, for me. Yeah, and this plus, this number could be minus as well too. So I think it makes sense to put the plus in there, right? I think this is a logical a logical card. So if we have this, excuse me. Oops, what did I do? So if we do the same thing, and let's copy, and we'll just say total, paid members. Again, we have, say we have 0, and then of course this is be NA, so no change from last week. And then we'll keep this color. This is a neutral color, so we'll give it a neutral color. All right, something like that. Then we can delete that. And then we can just call this free members, paid members. And this whole thing, let's bring you in 16 times 4. And let's change our height here. Oh, no, that's way too much. If we go to that, that's too much. Oops. Yeah. I like that. I think this makes sense. Let's have a look at this here. No, I'm just playing around with the design here. Yeah, great. And we're going to copy these ones and we're going to put them in a different row here. Let's go active members. Then we don't have to say this week or that week or whatever, because we'll just know. So say we have 10 active members. Maybe that was a reduction of 2. Actually, let's do an increase. Yeah, +3. 3.2, like say percent increase from last week. And we'll make this one green. Might have to change the color of the greens, but name this one active members. So active members and then percent active members. What's the difference here? Yeah, the difference is, of course, there's just the total number of active members and then the percent of the members that are active. Right, and we just want a straight percentage, right? Like 3%. That'd be really bad. Hopefully it's more than that, but yeah. So that's minus 1.2% as an example. And we could copy this. 10% decrease from last week. This is percent active members. So, and then we'll just have components copied. Say 125 plus 10 . So plus 10. So I'm just thinking here for a second. Right, components copied resets, whereas total free members doesn't reset. Right, so then the question is, for components copied, do we want to, does this number represent the number of components copied this week, or does it represent the number of components copied in total? Because if, for example, we just say, you know, think of a little bit of a larger number. We have this many components copied. And then we could say, well, we added on 250 more components were copied last week. And then we could have whether that's an increase or a decrease on last week. Yeah. Okay. once we start going through this on a week by week basis, I'm sure there's going to be some tweaks in terms of how we're going to be collecting the data and what makes the most sense for analyzing, especially if, 1 week we're saying, hey, okay, well, we want to figure out how we can increase the number of components that are used. So we're going to do some newsletter campaigns, and we're going to do some videos that are going to showcase how to, work certain components and whatever, all that kind of stuff, right? So we'll do a little bit of campaigns for that, and then we want to see how those numbers grow. And so the numbers that we're going to look to analyze, whether those campaigns were successful or not, we might want to go a little bit more granular, a little bit more in detail for not just showing the total components copied in like as a whole, or maybe we should just go for like the weekly components that were copied. In fact, now that I'm thinking about that out loud, it seems to me like it would make the most sense to look at the total number of components that were copied throughout the week. Like components copied this week, right? So like, yeah, I think if we just said like 500 components copied, and that is, 25 more than last week, then maybe that's like, was that like a 7%, whatever, percent increase from last week. 5% decrease. No, that would be 5% like increase, right? Yeah. Okay. But I think there's one other thing that we want to see, and we want to see from here. Unique website visitors. Because that's going to be a big thing. Say we had 100, whatever, website visitors. Maybe minus 10 from last week. So, 8% decrease from last week. Yeah, I'm still not sure about showcasing total number of members versus how many we got during the week. Okay, gonna have to sit on it and think about it to see what makes the most sense. 'Cause I'm not sure I quite have it. Let's bring this. So it's about even here. Okay, so let's think about this. So, we're going to talk about our short-term goals. We talk about our short-term goals, and then, okay, based on our short-term goals, here's the things that we worked on last week. And then of all the things we worked on, okay, well, here's the results from that. Here are the metrics. Well, we had 100 unique people come to the website, which is actually decreased from last week. So you probably want to say, well, we got 5 new members, and then we got this many paid members. So I feel like we want to actually show the number of paid members and total free members. So like, yeah, that's what my gut is telling me. Yeah, and then we say, okay, well, this many of our members were active. We had 10 active members, and which is 3% of our total, member audience. And then we had this many component copied. So this is like our weekly stats. Yeah, so I think this would make more sense to be, like, okay, well, we got 10 new free members and, we got 1%, one new paid member. And I guess you could also talk about conversion percentage, and we talk about our funnel dynamics as well too, but we can worry about that on another day, I think. I mean, right there, your whole funnel thing basically is going from free to paid would be 10% conversion. And then we'd also look at how many websites, actually look at this is a 10%. So out of 100 unique visitors, that means we get 10 free members and then we get one paid member. So that would be kind of a whole funnel thing. So yeah, total free members, it's 10. And we say, oh, that was an increase of 5. So 50% increase from that. Yeah, I think this makes more sense to do it this way. Okay. So we do that. And then from there, you talk about the revenue. That's pretty straightforward. Then we could talk about the agency. But the one thing about the agency is we want to put in, we want to delete this one. We want to put in how many website visitors we get. So let's just copy this. I don't know exactly where we want to put it. Let's just throw it in here for now. So site visitors, we'll call it. Let's make these ones just a little bit smaller here. So unique website visitors, yeah, say whatever, we had 150. And then, yeah, same thing. New clients. But this is total recurring customers. Do we want to say new recurring customers? I think we do. I think it's like new recurring customers, new clients. And I think the monthly recurring revenue, then we could just do what the increase is from the week before. So this is like the total. And then this would be like, plus, $250 from whatever this recurring revenue we got from these guys. And then that one-time client revenue, again, we could just hold that as a single number. And yeah. And then we could just break down the total agency revenue per year, or total so far this year. And then we have that information, and then we go into the total company revenue. And then we could just look at these other analytics that we might be interested in, right? YouTube subscribers, watch time. Even this is not, it's okay. I guess we could throw it in here for now and just have it as a just something to watch. something to just watch for. Newsletter subscribers, components copied. That is already up here, so we don't need to do that again. What else do I have here? YouTube watch hours, newsletter. So one thing we could look at, I don't know if this would make any sense, but we could talk about Discord community, and then we could talk about how many new users we have for that. Yeah, again, so I don't know how much I want to go into the weeds for that. But anyways, I'll just write it down so we can kind of think about it. We could also just think of like how many posts we do. Yeah, I think that's a little too much in the weeds right now. Oop. Whoa, what am I doing? Press some buttons. Yeah, we can delete that. No. Just this one. Yeah, I think this works. And then after we just talk about kind of just the quick social analytics, then we go into, okay, so what did we learn after all of this, right? So we highlight blah, blah, blah. This is all the stuff that we learned. And then it's like, okay, based on what we learned and based on what our goals are and what are the lessons, learned from last week. And then we're going to talk about, well, this is what we're doing the following week. Still makes sense. And then that's our weekly update. This page here is duplicated over, so we don't need that one. Okay, so we just got to clean up these 5 pages here to make it make sense, basically. Okay, and then we all got to figure out how we're going to do this into a graph as well too. And that might be a long-term thing where we might sit down and do like a quarterly business review or an update. Or maybe that's something that I could post on Discord, where it could be like an ongoing running graph, which we can discuss and talk about. So that could be something that we could just do on social media. So that might be really cool. So we'll think about different ways that we can display that. Because yeah, Rolando, I really like that. I'm a scientist. I should be thinking about making graphs. What am I thinking about? I guess I'm not so much of a like a financial guy. That'll change though. We'll learn and we'll figure out how to move forward with all this stuff. Okay, so I'm going to leave it here for today. A little bit kind of the stuff we were doing yesterday, but I just wanted to make sure I have all that stuff down so that way next week we can really hit the ground running with figuring out like all the things that we need to track and see how it goes and keep working on updating the business. Speaking of which, I think tomorrow is going to be pretty interesting. I think I'm going to work on adding a filter capability to all the components on Pixel Pieces, because that's one of the things where I was working on it, trying to build myself a website using the components. And I find myself saying something like, oh, well, I want to just filter on things that have, the image on the left side or the image on the right side or whatever, right? So I feel like the more components that we make, having the ability for users to be able to filter is going to be important. So especially if you need to, I know the components that we have, but when you log in and you just see like an infinite scroll of components, that's kind of a pain, especially if you already have a design and you just want to take your design, get all the components quick, put it together, and then away you go, right? So that's what I think we're going to look at doing tomorrow, unless anything kind of changes in terms of what I think might be more important in terms of increasing the user experience on Pixel Pieces. So, all right, Kevin, Rolando, thank you so much for joining. Much appreciated. And thank you, everyone, of course, for the support and watching this. Anytime you have any questions, don't hesitate to get in touch or leave me a comment or what have you. Love to hear your thoughts and your feedback. And that's it for me for today. As always, again, thank you so much for tuning in and joining. Much appreciated. And we'll be back here again tomorrow for a brand new live stream. Till then, take it easy, and we'll see you tomorrow.